Hello, everyone. Hello, those who joined me today. Thank you so much for your support, for your attendance, and I hope we'll have another wonderful class. So I will begin as usual. So today's topic, we will talk about the Dreamcatcher. I'm sure that everyone knows about Dreamcatchers. Those from North America, we're all familiar with this concept. Yes, I knew about it myself, but I discovered such things that I could never expect. I thought it would be very simple and free class, but then I got involved into research and I found interesting details that I'm going to share with you. And of course, to those who don't know me, I will introduce myself in my short presentation. I will also mention a few words about NeuroGraphica for those who hear this word term the first time. NeuroGraphica and NeuroGraphiCArt. And after the presentation, I will explain again a couple of techniques that we're going to use in this class. Those who are familiar, yes, wonderful. And those who are not familiar, who is watching this video the first time, that will be a short introduction, just enough to complete this exercise. And again, these classes require no artistic talent, no previous skills, no drawing skills. We can just easy become like children again. We didn't hold ourselves back when we can express ourselves freely on paper without thinking and without any judgment in a critic. So not only drawing, and with this, we can start. The dream catcher and sweet dreams in uncertain times. As I understand, the situation is getting tense again with a fall, with cold weather, and more alarming news from the mainstream media. I also would like to introduce my new idea. So my new ideas will be about embracing the change that happens daily. And with this, to celebrate yourself. And as long as we have life, we can enjoy it with its full potential. And of course, we can create new reality using a simple drawing method of NeuroGraphica. Not instead of creating new reality, doesn't discourage doing any actions, but something NeuroGraphica method allows us to support our daily life, our changes, and our desires. So NeuroGraphica, or as it's known now in North America, NeuroGraphic Art. NeuroGraphica is a simple and effective method for working with the subconscious mind through simple drawing, predominantly abstract drawing. If you can see pictures, they can be also done to incorporating neurographic elements, but majority, anything we do in NeuroGraphica, as a discipline is called, the abstract art that we create with our own hands, guided by our themes. The principle of NeuroGraphica, the method of NeuroGraphica, is based on neuroplasticity, or brain plasticity. That's our brain's ability to change itself and adapt itself in response to learning, to new experiences, new needs, and everything that happens around us. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive. A long time it was considered once we learned something in our childhood, our brain produced new neurons, it remained unchanged. I think it was probably bad news. Now, most scientists, neuroscientists discover that the brain produces new cells, neurons, and is able to thrive and create as long as a person is alive and willing to take this change, willing to respond to environment. The method of NeuroGraphica was invented in 2014 by Pavel Piskaryov. He's a doctor of psychology. He's a personal coach and business trainer, speaker, architect, artist, and overall very gifted. And he is able to create this method and put it together and incorporate many fields with it. NeuroGraphica or NeuroGraphic art is a bit affordable and requires no previous experience. Indeed, all you need is paper and some drawing materials. Everyone can draw and get good results. I mean, good results with respect to your life and drawing, and enjoy drawings and enjoy the results. Many of you know me. I'm Alina Smolyansky. I'm a full-time artist and instructor of NeuroGraphica. I've been an artist for over 12 years, and those who know me probably know me also as a icon painter and acting para artist. I am a member of the Federation of Canadian Artists and been for a few years. I've been practicing my art, icon painting and acting para painting, the techniques I love very much for over 12 years and teaching it for over 8. As an instructor in NeuroGraphica, I knew about NeuroGraphica only for 2 years, and I completed NeuroGraphics instructor program. That's a program, a 9 months long program, and became certified. As you can imagine, I had a long life before that. I have a degree in engineering and also was involved in construction financing. And later, I earned a degree in professional communication, worked in writing, a little bit editing, publishing, freelance. But then I discovered art, and since I learned art when I was a child, I decided to become an artist. And it was a happy decision, and I never regretted becoming an artist. But I still love writing. Maybe I will write later in my when I have more time and I have more experience to share and desire to share. On other pursuits, of course, I practice yoga and meditation. I studied many religious traditions. First of all, Eastern Orthodox Christianity, Kabbalah, yoga, again, Hinduism, Judaism, and ancient Tibetan teachings. My art is neurographic art. If I create art, I create only in extempore, icon painting. I use NeuroGraphica only as a method of transformation and practice. My other passion, my first love is extempore painting. Now we are going to our theme of today, the Dreamcatcher. The Dreamcatcher is one of the traditions. Fascinating, probably one of the most known and fascinating traditions of Native Americans. The traditional Dreamcatcher is used to protect the sleeping person, from bad dreams, by letting good dreams come true. There are different traditions. One of them states that bad dreams are trapped in. Another tradition says that good dreams get trapped in, whereas you're welcome to use whatever you feel more attracted to. Today we will review the tradition that states and they believe that bad dreams are got trapped in this web and then destroyed. Use this idea to catch our bad dreams, possible, or emotions in our hand-drawn web and transform them into ideas and insight with the light of the sun, with the imaginary light of the sun. Dream catchers are very well known now. They are used as home decor, gifts, and artwork. But do we know the legend of Native Americans that stands behind the webbed hoop and what the dream catcher means for the native people of North America? This is a short story. There are two various legends connected with the dream catcher. I will tell you the one that's less known and the one that carries more meaning for me. The legend of the dream catcher. According to common knowledge among the Ojibwe people, it's believed by ethnographers and historians that this tradition was originated in that tribe, Ojibwe, also known as Chippewa people, who live in North America around the Great Lakes. So the story said that a spiritual leader went to the top of the mountain in search of enlightenment. There, the trickster deity, Iktomi, appeared to him in the form of a spider. Iktomi took a small willow branch from the spiritual leader and spun a web as he spoke to the leader. As the spider, Iktomi spoke to the web of life every person weaves. Each person, the spider said, have the ability to weave one's life and choose one's own pattern. Some paths will be easy and some are meant to be challenging. The web, according to Iktomi, the deity, connects each person to nature and the Great Spirit. When Iktomi had told the story and finished his web, he handed the willow hoop back to the elder. The web created a pattern within the hoop, but there were still plenty of openings. The spider said to use the hoop and web to catch the good in life and to let the bad fall through the holes. The spiritual leader returned to his people and showed the webbed hoop. He called it a dream catcher. He encouraged his people to weave their own dream catchers and hang them over their bed to filter the good dreams from the bad ones. The Ojibwa people believed that the night was filled with good and evil, which often manifested in the form of dreams. A dream-catcher would hang over the bed in a spot where the rising sun would shine on it with its light. The first ray of sun was supposed to hit the dream-catcher. Just as an insect gets caught in a spider's sticky web, similar, the evil vibes and bad dreams would be trapped in the dream-catcher, while happy vibes and good dreams will fall through the holes and gently descend down the feather to the sleeping person. When the morning sun rose, the first rays would burn at the bad dreams as they were stuck in the web. Dream catchers are handmade. They're made of a round hoop, typically willow, woven into a web of yarn. They're decorated with and dream catchers are decorated with feathers, which hang below the hoop, beads, each of them, and all the additions have the meaning. The hoop itself could be circle or tear-shaped. The circle one is believed to represent the circle of life. The web represents the web that's spun by the spider, and typically where it's attached, it has 8 points, which it is attached to the hoop to represent 8 spiders' legs. And spiders, by the native people, believed that they are wise creatures and can tell many things. Feathers, of course, to help good vibes to descend to the sleeping person. There are many other meanings associated with the feathers, and since not all the kind of feathers are legal to possess, later the dream catchers became decorated with gemstones that also serve the same purpose as with hanging gemstones that use the same as feathers. If you can see one bead in the hoop, in the web, that represents the spider. If you see more beads, they represent bad dreams. They're caught in the web. So that's a short story about the dream catcher. So now we can nearly begin a drawing. We have markers, we have pencils, anything that can create marks on paper. So the first thing that we need to know about NeuroGraphica, for those who joined us our class the first time, when we use NeuroGraphiCArt and when we talk about NeuroGraphica, we need to mention NeuroGraphica. There are 2 principles, 2 techniques that we need to learn. First of them is neurographic line, and secondly is the principle of rounding corners, intersections. The neurographic line, by definition, is the line that doesn't repeat itself, and we draw it where we do not expect to see it. It's not a spontaneous line. When we draw the neurographic lines to create it, we need to be fully present, and I would call this NeuroGraphica spiritual practice. So it doesn't mean that the line doesn't repeat itself. This means that it doesn't have a pattern. And having no pattern makes it unpredictable, which is very important for communicating with our subconscious mind. Of course, I talk much more about it in my other classes, but this one is a very brief introduction. So the mind wants predictability. The mind wants to be in control. And if we draw the line that doesn't have a pattern, means that we cannot predict it, the mind cannot interfere, and in this way we can communicate mostly with our subconscious mind and bypassing the analytical mind, rational mind. The straight line is predictable, and the straight line is very much favored and understood by the analytical mind. So is there anything you can do in our world, our straight lines, and they're very convenient in our life. But unfortunately, it's predictable as every segment of the line, no matter how small increments, predictable. The same about patterns. Beautiful ornaments and patterns make the line predictable. Repeat. So in our class today, I'll ask you to, when you're using NeuroGraphica the first time, just make sure that when you draw the line, it doesn't, just watch so it doesn't repeat itself. The pattern doesn't repeat itself. It could be a very small movement of the hand or larger with high amplitude, meaning more vary. When I mentioned we draw where we do not know where we're going, doesn't mean that it doesn't have a direction. We will have a direction because we have a pattern that will be direction, but what I mean, the line will not be even, and when we outline our sketch, we just do the small movement with the hand, something like this. So just make sure that you do not repeat your hand, doesn't repeat itself. It doesn't repeat the pattern. Yes, this requires a little bit of practice. That's about the neurographic line. The second principle is the principle of rounding the corners. The principle of rounding the corners serves two purposes. The first one, it indicates that the two lines are connected. Indeed, if we're drawing in two-dimensional space, our drawings are two-dimensional, and lines exist in three-dimensional space, as we're drawing something that exists in nature. Just making this small art and filling it in indicates that the lines are connected. Why it's important? It's important because each line represents a thought that draws from our subconscious mind. And if we're looking to find a solution, to find an answer to our question, I would like to connect as many thoughts as possible. This creates more energy in our brain by connecting, but also we might find an answer very unexpectedly, because the subconscious mind has a very different logic from our analytical mind. And what our analytical mind, our rational mind, would dismiss in real life, the subconscious mind can bring up on the surface, and we may recognize an answer. On the other hand, that's probably more important, when the two lines intersect, like this, they create sharp, hard edges, like there's a corner. In our subconscious mind, it was from very early ages, from very early stage of humanity, we started associating as human being circle with a positive element. The circle is the sun, and the sun gives light, warmth, life. The moon, there are many other positive associations with the circle. It's a perfect, balanced figure. It has no beginning, no end. It represents infinity, oneness, and that's probably familiar to every nation in the world. People from different places around the world always associate a circle with a positive element and often use it as a sacred symbol. So when we draw this rounding here, it's almost as if we're thinking about, okay, it's almost like we're having a circle here. We don't need to draw the circle, but our mind tends to complete the picture and will automatically add the circle anywhere he sees like soft shape. The triangle, and here you can always see the sharp hard edge. is completely different. It represents concerns and danger. You compare triangle with sharp corner could be associated with a thorn, with fangs, with claws, with sharp stones, with edges like a dagger, like arrow, weapons later. Even if we want to draw attention to anything in our real life, this symbol of attention is so deeply ingrained in our mind. It's a very familiar sign. You want to draw attention? Draw the triangle. In our body, before we even react, will instinctively react to this sign. So what happens when we draw lines and we see this sharp corner and we add a rounding? In technical terms, it's also called filler in drafting. We change that sharp corner that's probably associated very deeply in our subconscious mind with the danger, with discomfort, our own hand in front of our own eyes, turn it in a positive symbol that's represented by the circle. And that's what we do. We do in our neurographic drawing. We turn intersections and sharp corners into positive elements, changing the meaning completely. That's why many who start rounding after initial sketch experience a sense of calmness and relaxation, as tension that's indicated in those corners get transformed into a very positive and very different image, friendly and positive in every possible way. So that's about our technique, so the elements. And now we can prepare the paper, the one that we're going to use for our drawing. For today's drawing, you can choose any color, any color marker that you like. You can position the page also vertical orientation. Very easy if you have feathers hanging. I will use my black marker typically. So what we're going to do today is to draw a circle. First, we're going to draw a circle, a small one. So I have to mention that dream catchers are typically small decorations. They're about the size of the hand, of palm of the hand, and they rarely exceed 6 inches in diameter, 10 centimeters. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect round. You understand that it's a willow branches. So this is my circle. My willow, create a few lines and a handmade hoop. Here it is. And circle, as we know right now, a circle as a positive, and we even call it like a mandala. So we created a positive circle. And that now you can think of whether you have problems with sleeping, whether you have emotions that you would like to change. Think about the theme. What would you like to trap in it? Just ask yourself what you would like to trap in it. And I draw, here's like, it's about the center. So we divide this circle into 4, like two axes, vertical and horizontal. And we will also divide it into diagonals. Representing 8. So we have 8 points that we're going to connect our web according to this tradition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, typically, these dream catchers have a small opening in the middle. So I indicate this small opening. Of course, we can't use draw exactly as we would create spinning with a hoop and creating stitches with a yarn. We will draw an element like similar like the shape of petals that represents those webs. And I can create now, this is a sketch where I'm not using NeuroGraphic line yet. This is just a sketch that I'm going to use for my drawing. So the shape is about like this. So I'm round, it's almost like a petal. So I go around the hoop, the bottom, and I create a petal like this. Then the next one, you can, if it's easy for you, you can rotate the drawing like this. Again, I repeat the same shape. You go around. If it's uneven, no problem. You know, they're hand drawn, they're handmade. They will be very authentic, handmade, and none of them will be the same. They will be all unique and carry your imprint. Here's the fourth one. And I do with all of them around the circle. All together, 8. So the next step is to connect. So this one will be the web. So what we do now, we can add neurographic lines to all this our sketch. And this part, intersection, there will be connection, but also they represented like a knot that where the strings are tied. You can draw more than one line over this, over the initial sketch. And I round these intersections. One more. The additional intersections are here where the yarn wraps around the hoop. a little bit tighter when you get close to the center. The lines tighter. So if you not, you may create a beautiful picture and put it. If you don't have woolen one, you can hang this picture above your bed, and we'll see the effect of it. So most of my corners are done. And I will draw a stronger line around the circle. Probably more than one line. And around the connection. So where the yarn is attached to the hoop. Now with the feathers. The feather will probably represent. Yeah, I leave this. It's around the center. Yes, I leave this round in the center. It's supposed to be a round hole through. It's believed that good dreams and good vibes come through this, not only through the opening, but also. So there is many original dream catchers have this opening in the middle. What we can do with our good vibes, we can draw the lines that to help our good emotions, good dreams to come to us, to descend to us. So will be the direction. So we're using it as a string, imaginary feathers. I will probably not draw the feathers, but what I can draw instead of feathers, I will draw it's small gemstones and beads. So the small circles that help to guide my positive vibes towards me. I would add additional strings. That's something that in NeuroGraphica we call this step, connecting the figure with the background. Yeah, there was a question where do we round whether the lines connects in the center? Yes. So if you can see a sharp corner, you can round it. But since in the middle it could be so tight with tiny lines, If I can't see, I just leave it as it is. So if you can't see distinct corner, I just leave it and may even fill it in if the lines are too tight. And in this way, I don't have to round everything. So do these tiny lines, and then becomes in a circle. And as you can imagine, having an extra circle will always helpful in NeuroGraphica. These are the major lines. If you feel like you would like to add extra line to help the web, yes, you're welcome to add extra lines. So I have these extra strings with connecting it, the Dreamcatcher to me and to the environment to help the dreams, the good vibes to be spread, and the bad ones will be caught in this web. And also I round all these new corners, as you can see, if I draw the lines. Around the corners that I connect lines to the hoop. But I do not round absolutely everything. When I have these tiny thin lines connecting and they're very tight, I don't round them. I place another bead here, gemstone. You know, you can't spoil a picture with circles. Circles could represent strength and a source of energy. So I just add a few more. So you can extend these lines to the edge. Not necessarily. With all the circles and then the lines, I feel like I'm getting in a state of zone, like relaxation. You're welcome to decorate when after the class. If you think about any decoration, you can look up dream catchers online or any inspiration. You're welcome to add elements that you feel not only artistic but also helpful for you, for the element, for the dream catcher and the idea. Something that can make the picture beautiful and helpful. And of course, the Dreamcatcher is held at this one string that we attach it imaginary. We're hanging it from the top. If you feel like adding feathers, yes, you're welcome to add feathers if you can draw. Using colors, you can add colors and using feathers. You can free to experiment with this drawing. I have no particular design. I'm just drawing on my own ideas. If you feel like you trapped something inside, if you feel a sense of, if you feel that you reveal something, you're holding something, those negative vibes, those difficult emotion to process. If you feel that they're somewhere here located, let's draw the sun and add the light of the sun on this picture. So the night came and passed. The good dreams, good emotions, positive, light emotions. I don't feel like anything negative, but nonetheless, something that probably my subconscious mind holds. I don't know yet, but just in case. What's good about NeuroGraphica, so we don't have to verbalize to explain anything. If you can ever had a talk to a psychologist, there were many questions that you had to answer questions. NeuroGraphica works on the subconscious level. If our hand was directed to express something on paper, this means that it was in our subconscious mind because it can't come from nowhere. It comes from somewhere. But we don't have to name it. We don't have to label it. We don't have to explain it. So now I will draw imaginary sun rays coming. Next another circle. Here's my sun. Maybe still in the distance. And I draw the lines. Those lines of light of our light of consciousness, our desire to transform those negative vibes, because they still, what is good about it, we turn them into resources. They contain a lot of energy, so we don't want to discard them. We want to transform them into something, turn them into positive. So in this light attaches it, and we can feel those rays. We can color them later. They touch the web and transform everything was caught on it. I don't know what was caught on it, but these rays of light can permeate the entire drawing. They pass through the web. They're infinite, they expand in all the directions. They give even more energy to our good vibes. So what I'm doing, I'm just sending this energy from this circle that's identified as the sun in all the directions, not including my Dreamcatcher and the space as background. Now you can experience a feeling of a field of lines, neurographic lines, as if you really can draw them. It could be thinner. So I'm drawing energy from the sun coming to my Dreamcatcher and to me. And of course, where I have intersections, I have to round again. So when you draw the lines, please consider how many lines you want to draw, because there will be more rounding to do. So we'll probably add more lines later in class. You can work on this drawing as long as you would like to. Not only limited by this class, so we'll just draw an initial picture. I'll start applying colors, and then you will have time to continue working on your own. I assume it's enough for now. There's my sketch, and I would like to start applying color. Of course, the first one, yeah, I apply yellow from the sun. With coloring, please, you can use your intuition, use your desire, how you want to apply the colors. It will be yellow, of course, orange. And the Dreamcatcher itself, I don't know. It could be any color. Some various colors radiate from the center. Then my So I suggest making it as colorful as possible, more joyful, positive colors, a combination of colors. I suggest you do not have to color absolutely everything. You can leave white. White is also a color. So if you leave white, it helps make the drawing nice and light. the beads, it can be different color, stronger. And for now, with colors, you can take your imagination. Just follow your imagination, follow your desire. There's no restriction. Just something that make you feel good, positive, and enjoy the process. The criteria for any neurographic art drawing, you draw it. It's not so much a piece of artwork that is for your own benefits. So you continue working on it as long as you feel you need. You continue drawing and to the point that you like it and satisfied with it. So to get these benefits for it, you need to bring it to the point when it's enjoyable for you to look at it, or at least neutral. If you feel like you're not satisfied, you'll just okay, then draw another one on the same topic. And I'm feeling I need to work a little bit with colors, so I indicated my colors. That's a preliminary sketch, but I will need to work more on the colors. We have a group in our Facebook group. It's NeuroGraphic Art in Life, and it seems more people are joining there. You're welcome to join it as well and share your drawings there. So I hope to see more drawings that people are drawing and sharing it. Or you can, when you see my drawing, you can post it in my profile on my Facebook pages in the comments. So you're welcome to add your drawings in comments or in the group, and then my NeuroGraphica group. Yes, please share a Facebook group again. My group, NeuroGraphic Art and Life. Me too. I am feeling quite relaxed now. And drawing neurographic lines, especially for this slow motion, it's very relaxing. If you draw the neurographic line just by itself, it's enough to relax and enjoy the process. So just the line itself, it has its quality, and also circles. So if you feel a little bit agitated and concerned, so what you can do is take a page and continue drawing circles. Just take a pencil and 40, 50, 60 circles, one direction, another direction, different sizes, and you will see the result. That will quite relaxing and energizing. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again online. Have a nice and relaxing day or night. Sweet dreams.